Hi everyone. So let us start a new chapter for today's session, that is the problems of India and their solution. This is the first chapter of political science of SSLC 10th standard state syllabus. As the heading suggests, the problems of India. So India after its independence has grown up into a certain extent where we are good and advanced in technology. We are producing good amount of goods in our own country. We have increased manufacturing sector, and even the political system has increased. To be very happy, in the past 5 years we have shown rapid growth in terms of startups or in terms of health sector, many more. So there are many countries who are appreciating India's role in its economic path. So this is the stage where we are called as the developing country. But for a country like us, where having second biggest population in the world, we are facing many problems. So let us today understand what are all those social evils or the problems that India is facing. And also we will look into the solution part, because being a student, you people should understand at national level what is India facing and what are the solutions, so that you can implement that in your life or in your career or anywhere. Okay, so some of the problems that India is facing is unemployment, discrimination, corruption, terrorism, then corporate strategies, so many more like that, communalism. Actually, there are many such problems when it concerned with an individual or with a country's perspective. There are many problems that India is facing, but these are some of the important and very common problem that is found in India. You go to any part of India, there will be unemployment. Unemployment is what? There is no suitable job. Many people are jobless. Now let us take there are 100 people in a city, out of which 30% will be children, 70% will be adult. Out of 70%, again 20% will be old people who have reached the age of not working because they have grown old, so they can no more work. So remaining 50%, in that again we have students, we have jobless people, etc. So not even half of the population is having the job. The students, they are dependent on their parents. The old people, they are either dependent on their savings or on their kids or somebody else. They are dependents. So out of the 50% population again, so many are jobless. So due to the global pandemic disease, many people have closed their companies, and again this unemployment has reached to a next level. So that is unemployment. Discrimination is you criticize each other. There are many kinds of discrimination, the rich and the poor. The rich will always dominate the poor people, and there is discrimination between genders, that is male and female. Males will always take the upper hand in the, because females are physically weak compared to males, they are always dominated or suppressed. So that is one of the discrimination. And caste discrimination based upon the religion, upper caste, lower caste. Again there is criticism, showing partialities. Again in political criticisms, people who have political influence can their work will be done easily, whereas people who doesn't have any influence, who doesn't have money power or manpower, they will always be at the last. They cannot progress in their life, or there is no chance for progress. That is discrimination. Corporate strategies. So nowadays many companies are using illegal activities, or they are planning illegally, or they are strategizing to gain over other countries. That is in order to make their business profitable. Now let us take up examples like, due to this pandemic, we are dependent on other countries for the mask and other stuffs. We are dependent on that. because we need it in massive way. We need so numerous number of testing kits and we need some medical equipment, we need ventilator facilities for people who have crossed 60. They cannot sustain the COVID-19 problem, so they need respiratory ventilator support. So we are dependent on some other country now. So this is where the companies are misusing that. They are providing us all substandard goods which are not good. So they are using strategies to push the goods, to make money, which is not good, which is illegal. Then corruption. Corruption is the biggest evil in India. What is corruption? It is making money illegally, bribing, or in the government offices, there is a rule that whoever qualifies with all the necessities have to be given the business order, or their work has to be done. But illegally the officers will get some benefit for their selfish greediness. They will pass the documents, they will sign the documents. So all these are corruption. So doing business illegally. Now the government says the liquor should be sold only till 11 o'clock, but people will do beyond 11 o'clock. They entertain illegal activities. Why? To make money. And government makes an order to not supply any kind of drugs such as huffing, then many other things. So not getting the word. But still, to make money, politicians themselves will sign the documents, and illegally they will take government properties, which is the place in the city which belongs to government will be indirectly converted to an individual because of political influence. All such things are corruption, which has to be eradicated from our country. Then terrorism. Since after we got independence, the country is facing this problem because we got divided into two countries. Hindustan got divided into Pakistan and India. Not only Pakistan, there is many other countries who are trying to attack us directly or indirectly. Maybe a country is attacking us through its nuclear weapons or by its soldiers or sending the terrorists to our country. Many other countries who doesn't like India are supporting this country which is fighting against us. So that is also called indirect terrorism. So terrorism being a social evil has to be eradicated. Then communalism. Communalism is purely based on the communities. Communities is what? The religion based or the caste based. So especially in India, Hindus and Muslims are always rivals. They see themselves as they cannot take the brotherhood among them, because the Constitution of India says treat everyone as your brothers, treat like you treat yourself, but that rule is not followed. So all these problems are causing the decrease in the growth of the country. There is no unity. We have already suffered that Indians didn't have unity, hence we entertain Europeans to come and rule us. That is what the biggest weakness or disadvantage we had. Now again we are going into that path. If we do not rectify these problems, if we don't find solution, then India can never be a developed country. We cannot grow in terms of finance, in terms of infrastructure, education, medical field, or it could be anything. If we have to make an advancement, first we have to eradicate each and every problem. That is why the government has prescribed this chapter for you at this level, because you people have got enough maturity to think upon the problems that India is facing. Now let us take individual problems, we will understand what it is, at what extent it is, and the solution for that problem. Okay, we'll start off with unemployment. So the very first problem is unemployment. As I told you, unemployment is a condition where a person will not get a favorable job, that is a job based on his education. Now let us say I have studied medical, so if I don't get a doctor or a doctor related job, then what will I do? I keep aside. I will not go and perform a data entry job, or I will not go to any office to look after the accounts. I will not do teaching. So this is my personal opinion, right? So I didn't get a proper job, so I stopped working. There are other cases. That is, there is so much of competition in this world. Maybe there is a job available for a doctor, but there are 20 people standing in the interview line for that single job. So what about the remaining 19 people? So in India, it is observed that there are two main reasons for having unemployment. One is the technology, improved technology, another one is the population. So population is the biggest reason. There are so many people in this country and there are very few jobs available. Everybody compete for a single job. The best of them will get the job. Otherwise, may not be the best. The person who has got much influence, who has got political power or financial power will get the job. So by this, the rest of them are not getting the jobs. That is why when we discuss the chapter of entrepreneurship, each and every person should have a goal to become an entrepreneur. Irrespective of your jobs, you may study medical, you may study engineering or the accounts section or MBA or anything. Irrespective of your studies, in your own field, you can start up an enterprise, you can start up a company. So when you do that, when you take that risk, then you can ensure so much of jobs, right? You will have at least 10 vacancies in your company, right? From the peon, the manager, or it could be anything. So if we increase more and more jobs in this country, each and every person will be employed, then this problem can be eradicated. So that is why many countries are coming to India to invest here, because we have huge population and we have talented population. To add to this, the 30% of the world's doctors are Indians. In the NASA, there are Indians who contribute to major projects. Again, you go to medical field or you go to engineering field or to the scientific field, it is all Indians who contribute in a larger way, because Indians are good in adjusting to the environment. Indians are capable of understanding the new concept. Indians are loyal to their work, because it is in our culture. Indians are raised in such a way to be loyal, to work hard, to give 100%. So that is why most of the American workers or American IT company workers are Indians. Because they don't get good pay here, they get shifted to USA. It's not only for USA, it is other good countries like Canada, France, etc. Why? Because here they have talent, but enough money is not provided for their talent. They get paid very well in other countries since they are moving there. So what happens? Here nobody is starting a new venture, no companies, no jobs. How much jobs can government provide? Isn't it? So that is, population is one thing. Second thing is improved technology. Now let us say, earlier to do farming, all the works of agricultural related process was conducted by a farmer. But now there are equipments at every level. To put a seed, there is a seed drill machine. To cut the crops, harvest it, we have multiple technology oriented equipments and tools. To plow the ground, earlier we used to do it manually using bullocks. Now we have tractors. Similarly, you come to whichever category, technology has improved. Technology. So see, earlier it was one teacher going to each and every class and teaching. Now a recorded session can be uploaded in the internet and many people can look at it. It is technology. So when technology increase, the manual work will decrease. So people will lose their job. They will not have enough jobs. If you go, nowadays, if you go and see any supermarkets or big shops, most of the places are human free. There is no manual work considered. It is all technology. You want to search your route, you will not even ask a person who is standing on the road. You will use your Google map. It is all technology. That is where the jobs are being lost. Because one person doing this work, this much work, is being done by a single machine who can replace 100%. It is again good to our progress, hence employment is decreasing. Unemployment is increasing. Later, what are the reasons? So skills. Technology is over, then skills. Now, Government of India encouraged agriculture, cottage industries and handicrafts, etc. to create jobs. So they encouraged farmers to grow more and more, but the skills are taken back. That is, many other countries can produce in large quantity within a short period. Secondly, coming to handicrafts, our farmers, then village people are producing good baskets, good amount of toys. If you go to Chanpatna and the Mysore route, they have good amount of toys. They can do it by their hand itself, and there are very beautiful art and skills they have learned. If you see, all the walls are painted with the different kinds of concept like Varli art, there is this Matisse art, and there is Janapada kind of style. So many handicrafts are there. So many equipments can be made, but there is no market for that because technology has improved. Globally, they cannot compete. Can foreigner come and purchase a small wooden toy? He is advanced. He is playing with the robot. He is playing with the computer games. So we are not capable to match their skills. So that is again a big problem. Our skills are not matching. And then next, we are not globalized. This word cannot be taken at this point because yes, we are globalized. We also understand the global competition, how other countries are doing good, how can we become better than them, because even a big country like America is dependent on India for its medicine now, presently. So we are still good, but not everyone in the country are globalized. Because rural countries, rural places, they doesn't have internet technology, they doesn't understand about what is the market, what are the new trends that is coming. So if you understand everything, then you will plan to become more powerful person in this state. So that is globalized, we are not globalized. Second, in the year 2001, they conducted a survey and understood that 21.9% of Indian people are under poverty. That is, they are poor. Why is this poverty? Because they don't have a job. So at your home, if your parents doesn't earn, then what happens? There will be no money for food, school fees, or for basic needs like clothing, shelter, etc. Gradually, the family turns to poverty. So, because of unemployment, the poverty rate is increasing. People are becoming poor and poor. Due to this lockdowns, consecutive lockdowns, average people like us are able to sustain. But what about the daily wages, the auto drivers, then people who are working in the mining sector or who are doing all the low-level activities? So they are not even able to get the proper food. Hence, the government is releasing packages to put money in their accounts or to provide them health, security, facilities, food, providing grocery, everything. So we are still at that stage. Have you ever seen in a newspaper where Americans are distributing groceries? No. Are Italian people distributing groceries? No, because they don't have poverty. We Indians are still facing that poverty. Why? Because unemployment. So we need to create jobs for others. So once you create job, even you can develop and you can develop others. So this is about unemployment. And other thing is, this problem has become a national-wide problem. Hence this central level problem as well as the state level problem. Both the governments are facing difficulty to solve this. In the state government, our chief minister released many funds. He distributed free milk packets in our areas, and he provided groceries. Our local government, that is MLAs and MPs, distributed the food items. They distributed even food packets for poor people. That is the state government's problem. So a lot of money has been wasted by the state government. Maybe government had planned it to invest on a new metro line, but all that money is now utilized here because we are under poverty. So when will we become a developed country? We will remain like a developing country, or if this situation goes worst, we can become underdeveloped country also. So that is the biggest problem. Other thing, education. That is why the government is making free education up to 15 years or 17 years. We need to become educated people. If education is there in our hand, we can survive anywhere. Using education, we can get even a small job which can fetch us 10 to 15,000, which will help us to lead our life. So education is very important. So at the global level, if you see, this problem has become a biggest evil for India, so we need to eradicate this. So what can we do? One thing, we have to create jobs. That is, educated people who are good enough to create jobs have to start their own companies. So create jobs, this is a solution. Second one, make your people globalized. What is that? Our farmers should understand how can we produce good amount of vegetables, flowers, fruits, etc. within a short period, and how to compete with other countries. Now, let us say there is still demand for Indian spices. So we need to grow more and more spices. When you export, the money comes into your country and you become rich. So we have to make our people globalized. Then we have to encourage women. So there are many people in India are still sitting at home. They take care of child, the family, husband, that's it. Of course they don't have time, but we have to encourage them to create something out of them, like using their skills. They can conduct tailoring classes, they can do their own handicrafts, or they can even start their own small bakeries, confectionaries, restaurants. Many ladies are already doing. We need to encourage such people. That is why government is providing a lot of fund and encouraging women to do, women to create the job and earn by ourselves. So we have to encourage self-employment. We studied this in entrepreneurship. Self-employment is creating a job for yourself. That is opening a small tea shop or a roadside chat center or selling. Now we see on the roads, people are selling the mask. It's a good way, right? The necessity thing for today's situation is mask. So people are selling masks. It's good. Selling fruits, vegetables. We have to encourage such people. We have to, we means the government will provide fund and other things. We should encourage by purchasing goods from those people. We go to a big mall, we purchase a cloth which is worth of just 500, but we will pay 1,000, 1,200, which includes all this GST, which includes lot of taxes. The person who sells in a mall will include his rent, the lighting that he has put, the employee whom he has hired. So all those costs will be incurred in your bill. But if you purchase, I am not telling you sacrifice your needs. You get a good standard good in a mall. You purchase, but at least once in a month or twice in a month, we have to purchase from self-employed people who sells on the road, who sells in a small market. Because this is what Mr. Modi has announced. We have to become Make in India. We have to purchase from Indians. Make in India concept. Whoever is manufacturing in India, you choose which is the best goods or which is the best item. So please try to purchase from them so that the money will stay in our own country. We can become rich. Whereas if you purchase foreign goods, then our money will go there. We will still remain unemployed. We will still remain developing country. We will not become a developed country. So that is one. And we have to create job-oriented course, JOC. That is, let us say, a doctor studied medicine, so when he goes to his job, that is applicable. The doctor will give a medicine for fever, which he studied in his college. But what about a person who has studied MBA or who has studied BCom or anything? Whatever they have studied, 100% is not used in his or her job. So we need technical education. We need job fitting education. That is, for example, nobody was aware of this situation, but today we are getting adjusted to that. So similarly, we have to create job oriented course. You do any training or you study anything, that should fetch you a job. That is why in rural areas there are many ITI colleges. That is, technical education is provided. To manufacture a small nut, to manufacture a chair or a table, they give training. So using that training, people can go and take a job. Right? Small jobs they can choose. Similarly, a teacher has to do her B.Ed or she has to do her degree, or he or she has to do their PhD. They have to read well, get the knowledge enough, then that is used in that field. So such kind of jobs we have to create. To get a job, there should be an education. Simply studying engineering but not using that in your field, that doesn't make sense. So create a course which will definitely give a job. You study ITI, so you will get a job in a company as a technician or a mechanic or a survey officer or a quality inspector. There should be particular jobs. If you study that, you will become that. So that is what unemployment and its solutions. Next, we will look into the next major problem, that is corruption and communalism. Okay, so the next major problem is corruption. So what is corruption? It is doing a crime which is illegal, which is not correct to the society, or you can say giving the bribe. many forms are called as corruption. Now let us take an example. In a medical college, there are only 20 seats available for, which is available as government quota. That is, 80% of the seat is a medical college will to give it to any meritorious student, or it can charge fees. Whereas the 20% seat is reserved for rural background people or the poor people who are good in studies but they cannot afford money, because to study medical or to study MBA or to study any higher degree courses, at least in nowadays we require about 4 to 5 lakhs per year nowadays to study in a reputed institution. So which is a big amount for rural people or poor people. So those kind of seats where the government want to encourage rural people to study in a big college or to become educated people, so it will provide some reservation. That is misused by a medical officer or a minister of medicine, somebody, or the subordinate people. Now that is called corruption. Now let us say the government is issuing 5,000 rupees for all the auto drivers and cab drivers. But by the time that 5,000 rupees reaches to an individual auto driver, that could have become 3,000 or 3.5. Why? Where is this another 2,000 or 1,500 go? Because the person who is issuing the orders or who is approving the details of the auto driver will bribe it. He will ask money from the person or from the auto driver. Now let us say there is government which has given to central government, state government. State government is now giving to each and every area's offices like BBMP office or the any kind of government office people who will receive the money, and now the individuals have to go and collect it, or they will be waiting that to get credited in their accounts. But before it gets credited, the people has to give the details. The auto driver's number or the DL number, auto's number, everything should be provided. So after providing everything, it has to be approved by an officer, that is local officer, local government's person. But now he will demand for money because it is coming from government freely. So why should I take advantage of this? So that is what the corrupt mind, the immorality or the greediness, the narrow-minded people will think. Due to that, the money will not reach to the victim or to the proper person. Now this is all called as corruption. So corruption can be described as, it is evil, it is a social evil. Evil is something bad which is spreading in our society rapidly. Wherever you go, there is corruption. So it is in the political field, majorly in the political field. It is also in the education field. It is there in the government offices. It is there in the government hospitals. Wherever you go, you issue money, then your work will be done. You have some political power that I am from so and so minister, then your work will be done. For a common person to get his work done, it is very difficult. It has become so difficult in a country like India. So that is corruption. Now, corruption has led to selfishness or greediness of the officer. To eradicate this, one has to be a true leader. They should have their own ethics. Now let us say we are going on a road. We see 500 rupees note which is lying there. So what should we do? There are, if you are thinking in a good way, there are two options. You leave the note there, or you pick that up, wait for the concerned person to come and hand it over to them. If you have that much of time and patience, otherwise you don't touch that money. Of course, the person who comes behind you or back of you should also follow the same rule. Let that money reach the person who lost that. So that is your ethics. You being very loyal to yourself. You should not cross your limit, because nobody is looking around, let me take up that money. So that is also a kind of stealing, right? That money doesn't belong to you. Maybe that money was lost by a person who was going to take his medicines, or he had only left out 500 rupees to lead his monthly provisions. If you take that, so what it is also a crime that we are doing. Similarly, if you go to any kind of government offices and hospitals, people has to provide free service, but they are charging us. Government is paying money to all the officers, doctors, nurse, everybody, but they are charging from the citizens. Why citizens will go to government hospitals? Because they cannot afford to go to a big hospital or to a multi-speciality hospital. A poor person will only go to a government hospital, but this is being misused. We see many Anganwadi Kendras in our areas. They are selling all the groceries to other people and making money out of it. Why government is providing groceries? It is providing all the provisions to help the poor people. Because there are many poor people who are suffering from starvation. They don't even have their food to eat. So for such people, that food has to be distributed. But the government officers are misusing them. All these are called corruption. So to eradicate this corruption, government has started two organizations called Lokpal and Lokayukta. So Lokpal and Lokayukta are kind of officers, like a police officer who does riding. Ride is what? They go to a place where corruption is happening. If they get an information, they go and attack without information. They check for all the things, whether it is going well or not. Now let us say the government hospital doctor is charging fees. So if that is informed to Lokpal or Lokayukta, then the officers will go and arrest that doctor if he is doing that crime. So that is why government has organized. But to our to our fate, even the Lokpals and Lokayukta people are becoming corrupt. Even they are taking money from the officers and they are not doing their job well. So this is where the country is facing this as the biggest problem. This is the biggest problem what I believe. If this is eradicated, we can definitely progress. So there are many kinds of corruption. That is favoritism. Favoritism is a minister's son will be provided with all kind of facilities. Now let us say we all are common people going on a road, but if a minister's car comes, we will be standing aside and there will be no traffic rules applied to the minister. He will be allowed to go. Of course, we will agree if it is an emergency, if the minister is going to solve an emergency problem, then let him be allowed. Because even in the tolls, they have a separate column, VIP and emergency vehicles only. If the ambulance comes, let us leave the way. Let us stand aside. It's okay, we go 1 hour late to our office, not a problem. But it is favoritism that people will misuse their opportunity, misuse their power. So, I read in a book where Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri, who was also one of our Prime Minister in the past, was receiving certain amount from the government as the pay, but some organization wanted to support Lal Bahadur Shastri, so they paid some XYZ amount as a reward, like a prize amount. But Mr. Shastri rejected it. He gave that back itself. That I am being paid from the government because I am working for the public. So I am getting my salary, that is enough. Why should I take extra money? So he told it very bold and very with all lot of words. So that is the kind of morality we should have at every stage. It can be a student, a teacher, a police officer, a doctor, anybody, a minister. We have to be moral and we need to follow ethics. Ethics are what? We will never do a mistake. We will not take bribe. We will not cheat anybody. We will not cheat parents. We will not cheat the public. We will do our work properly. If you do your work properly, then you are called anti-corrupt. You are against corruption. Okay? So, then negativism. Negativism is if corruption carries like this, the whole country will be looked in a negative manner. That is, the country will not progress. Because all the money is being utilized by the ministers or XYZ people for their own benefit. There are ministers who does their daughters or sons' marriage spending crores together. But if you go and see that minister's constituency, there will be no development happen. The people in his area would not even be getting a good drinking water. There are no good roads. But the minister will spend crores together to make his or her own daughter and son, which is bribed money, which is not legal. So that illegal activities has to be stopped. Next. They are taking bribe and intentional slowdown. What is intentional slowdown? You go to any government office, you say that my road doesn't have a proper lighting facility, so I am giving you an application, please come and solve. If you give an application there for them, they will not even care for that. They will just say, there are some good officers who take immediate action, but most of them whom I have seen, I personally have experienced, they say, okay, let us see this, then throw the paper somewhere. You might have seen in many movies, there are very good movies who have done the story based on corruption, like the Sarkar. There are many Rajinikanth's movies. Please watch Akshay Kumar. They have done good movies based on corruption. So you need to watch this and understand what is India at the level of corruption. How to eradicate that. Okay. So it has become a social evil. Then, what are some of the areas where corruption is more? It is politics. You take politics, it is full of corruption nowadays. Each and every minister is in the will of making money, but not in the will of providing good service to the people. Because to contest in an election, he or she has to spend money for making publicity, to issue pamphlets, or during the election some people will give money to the citizens to cast the vote in favor of them. So all those spending what they have done, now they want to take back. If you want to earn the money, you have to go in a legal way. But most of the politicians take the illegal way because the government provides enough money for them to develop their area. Who knows how much money is spending? If there is 2 crore amount released to construct the road, almost 1.5 crore amount will be eaten up by the minister and his subordinates and the other officers. Everybody in the line are corrupt. Only 50 lakh. So what happens in 50 lakh? They will bring all the cheap goods. They will put the road, one rainy season, the road will be vanished. So we have many potholes in Bangalore. So this is the situation of our country. So corruption has to be abolished. Then tax. So many people are not legally or loyally paying the tax. They are hiding their income. That is, because the ministers or anybody who are taking money from the government sources, they cannot show that in their income tax. You know what is the concept of income tax? So you earn some amount presently. Whoever is earning up to 5 lakh are tax free. No need to pay any tax to the government. Whoever earns more than 5 lakh has to pay certain percentage. Now let us calculate 18%. So 18% of 5 lakh is close to 90,000. You have to pay that much amount to the government. People don't want to pay that to government because they have to save money. So hence they are giving illegal certificates. What is this illegal certificates? They will tell, I donated XYZ amount to XYZ trust. Simply they are making fake certificates. They have not donated anything. They have not issued any money. So they will give certificates, such certificates. So government will believe, okay, he has done a good thing in this society, so let us leave his tax part. So he is cheating the government, he or she. That is called tax evasion or emissions. Then political crime. Many people will pass orders without proper checking. Now let us say there was some XYZ amount released to provide ventilators to the government, but the politician will misuse the amount, so he will provide only less amount to the manufacturer. So the manufacturer will give a substandard goods. If that is used by the patients, it is life and death matter. So all these are political crimes. So they are killing the society indirectly. Then there are no ethics and morality, as I told you in the beginning. You should have personal ethics. If individually, if a person corrects himself, then corruption can be abolished. Then I have told you Lokpal and Lokayukta are some of the measures. So in every government office, nowadays we have CCTVs, not only in government offices, also in all the educational institutions, major shops, everywhere. Almost you see even the individual houses are getting CCTVs. Why? To stop something bad to happen. So everything will be recorded. At least in the fear of CCTV, people will stop doing the corruption. Okay? So this is all about corruption. So that is all for today. We will continue in the next session where we will be discussing about communalism, corporate strategies and terrorism, other social problems. Thank you.